Week 3! I don't know why I did that. That was weird. This week, we are changing things up, but I'm gonna keep it real short because I don't want to stay up till 4 a.m. editing again. Hello, my name is Velison and I spend every day drawing during my hour-long lunch break at my 9 to 5 and make a video about my progress every day after work. My God, what a mouthful of cum. And I've made it my sole mission to finish an illustration by the end of every work week. And welcome to the very beginning of week 3. But before I begin, let me give you a refresher of the first 2 weeks. And be warned, you might want to gouge your eyes out a little. So this was week 1's illustration, and this was week 2's. Do you want to know what they both have in common? Trash. Weeb. But also no fundamentals whatsoever, and both very unpolished and unfinished. This week, we're gonna try something new. And you guessed it, we're gonna apply fundamentals to our illustrations. Yay! Also, we're gonna veer away from anime stuff a little. So I'm gonna do some God of War art for the billionth time. But how are we going to do that? Well, I've made a small set of rules for myself before I begin this journey. Starting with number 1, using references. Holy shit, the amount of times I get lost in being unable to draw something because I rely purely on my imagination and memory is insane. Use references if something is difficult to understand. Period. It's not copying. You are absorbing the information from a reference, then you are translating that via your own interpretation into your drawing. From that alone, you would have learned something new and added to your own visual library in your brain. Number 2, adding perspective guidelines. Okay, this was kind of loose because I didn't begin with the perspective lines, but I did add them in eventually, which did help me with the background. And if I'm being brutally honest, this is the one thing I need to work on the most. Number 3, grayscales and values. Before I even think about adding color, I'm going to block out my composition in grayscale only. I'll be only using 3 tones, a dark value, a light value, and a mid-tone to define the shapes of the characters, objects, and backgrounds. And I have to keep the shapes simple before I wish to add anything else. No overdoing it. Number 4, negative space, which I admit is something I need to work on because I spent today mostly filling in the space rather than taking advantage of it to create a more coherent composition. You can see I was iterating using silhouettes to create a more clear pose, keeping that negative space in mind so you can see what the character is doing even if you completely block them out in one shade. And until I apply these 4 rules, I will not continue adding any color or details until I am confident that I have applied these fundamentals to my illustration. And I know the usual challenge is to finish an illustration by the end of the week, which in a sense won't change, but the main goal of week 3 is to make a piece of art that applies these basic principles. It can look loose or messy, but as long as the illustration looks very coherent from the methods that I have applied, then I will gladly deem this week's illustration as complete. But here is the end of day 1's progress. How did you think I did? Do you think I've applied enough fundamentals? I'm very curious how this week will go for me. But anyway, follow or subscribe only if you feel like it, but if you don't, no pressure. I don't really care, nor do I give a fuck.